While tonight's focus is all about who's going to win this year's Brownlow, it's also a time to reflect and reminisce. As has become tradition on this night, the past winners are recognised, and we're honoured to welcome them here again tonight. Looking as young as ever, the winner in 1958, the Saints' former skipper Neil Roberts. How appropriate that Kevin Murray is with us, the man nicknamed Bulldog, who won for the Lions in 1969. I bet you he's looking forward to the match on Saturday. Didn't Keith Gregg shock the room when he won the first of his 2 consecutive Brownlows in 1973? In 1981, Barry Round shared the medal with his great mate Bernie Quinlan. Bernie suffered a terrible loss with the death of his daughter recently. All our thoughts are with him tonight. What a lineup. Champions over so many eras, from the 30s, including King Richard, through to the present-day contemporaries, Shanes, Crawford and Woden. Well, one man who can't be with us here tonight is one of the game's greats. An Australian Football Hall of Fame legend. He became part of football history by winning back-to-back medals in a star-studded team and then won a third at a different club.
On a quiet afternoon, you might spot him strolling around the Eastern Park in the Sydney suburb of Rozelle. A far cry from the 200-game veteran who electrified us with play like this in the 60s and early 70s. He arrived at St Kilda in the shadow of Big Carl Dittrich in 1963. In 1965, he had a Brownlow. The following season, he backed up again, while also taking out the best and fairest in the Saints' only premiership season. And to this day, he reckons that his skipper, Darryl Baldock, was the more complete footballer. Those who remember the heady days of 1970 will recall the shock of his transition from superstar at St Kilda to centre-man at Richmond in the Barrett-Stewart swap.
But I'd like to be a success at Richmond. I'd like the teammates to have complete confidence in me, and I'd like Richmond to win a premiership.
He was the first to win a Brownlow at 2 clubs, when he topped the leaderboard for his 3rd medal in 1971 with 21 votes. 2 years later, he was part of a Tigers premiership team. As a footballer, Ian Stewart was deceptive. Opponents marvelled at his skill. Few could believe that the Cannies centre-man could beat the best of them in the air.
Well, as a kid, I spent some years in Boystown in Tasmania. The brothers and the priests were very big on sport and mass every morning. When I left Boystown, I realised the only thing I could do was play footy, and I learnt Latin. But it did teach me that, you know, you had to survive and you had to sort of direct a passion in an area. And I thought, well, football's my area, so I strove and daydreamed about being good at footy.
There were coaching stints at Carlton and South Melbourne, and a period in the front office as general manager of St Kilda in the early 80s. But for 2 decades, Ian Stewart has actively shunned the public spotlight. There's always been a quiet side to the man. He was the last of the 4 men to have won the Brownlow Medal on 3 occasions. The man who captivated us with his football brilliance quietly stepped back into the limelight when he joined Bunton, Reynolds and Skilton as a legend in the AFL's Hall of Fame.
Well, I've had a fantastic life. I've made my share of mistakes. I think I've been blessed, actually. It must have been all those prayers I said at church every morning for 5 years. I've got a wonderful wife, 28 years, 3 kids that I'm proud of. Ben, 27, Lauren, 23, and Amy, 19. And the passion that I had for footy, I just transferred that over to business.
Ian Stewart is prepared to walk away proud of his achievements and content in the knowledge that the game is in good hands.
Stewie couldn't be here, but Skilts is with us, and between the two of them, they won 6 of the 13 Brownlows between 59 and 71. And Ian Stewart will again take centre stage at the MCG on Saturday afternoon. He's presenting the AFL Premiership Cup. Let's go to round number 16. a couple of traditional MCG rivals were desperate for a win.